So I'm showing the broader Ukraine, Russia, Eastern Europe region because I'm noticing a shift in Ukrainian tactics. And I'm sure many people have noticed this as well, but the tactics of striking infrastructure in Russia is growing. Ukraine has had to move to a modified defense along the front line, largely because they can't count on Western support in a consistent manner anymore. What they need to do is take some of the fight into Russia. And so we see the Ukrainian border here. This is the border of Ukraine here. And obviously you see the front line runs along this area right here. But we have this light pink area that has been shaded, and a lot of experts are kind of painting this light pink area as an extended battlefield into Russia. And there's good reason for it. Obviously, Ukraine is striking military assets, military infrastructure, command posts in this pink area. They've even struck port systems. They've shot down aircraft over what is considered international or Russian territory. And we see a lot of this everywhere. We've heard of the strikes being conducted against oil infrastructure in this region. But that doesn't mean they aren't conducting strikes deeper into Russia. In fact, a plant that makes the Pantsir air defense system south of Moscow was struck. Oil infrastructure has been struck, natural gas infrastructure. And if we actually go up to the Leningrad Oblast right here, they're striking port systems that support providing natural gas to the rest of the world, or those countries that still are willing to take it. And Russia is struggling because they have distributed their logistics, their military production capacity, their pipelines, etc., across a wide swath of territory. And Ukraine is now exploiting that. And this goes all the way down to the Black Sea, as I said, hitting port systems. It's almost impossible to try to defend with air defenses in a region this large. And because Russia has redistributed much of its air defenses to the Ukrainian front line, the Ukrainians are able to slip through those air defenses and strike targets in Moscow, in St. Petersburg. So what we're looking at is Ukraine striking at the economic heart of Russia, limiting their capability not only to generate combat power from a manufacturing standpoint, but also this has a psychological impact on the society of Russia. And Russia has consistently struck civilian infrastructure in Ukraine. And while Ukraine is not striking anything considered civilian infrastructure, these are military targets that are designed to help Russia's war machine, oil, natural gas, manufacturing, etc., it still weighs on the psyche of the Russians that live in and around this area. And largely people in Moscow and St. Petersburg felt that they were divorced from the front lines of the battlefield. Well, Ukraine is now taking the front lines to them. They are striking military assets near where the decision-making centers of Russia are. The thing is this was somewhat anticipated given the current situation with U.S. and Western aid going to Ukraine. Much of that aid was predicated on Ukraine heavily limiting the strikes they conducted against Russia. Well, what we are seeing is what happens downstream when the U.S. and Western countries stop providing aid. Ukraine has no reason to follow U.S. requests if they're not getting anything from the U.S., so now Ukraine is striking at the heart of Russia's economy, which is their oil, natural gas, and manufacturing. And this is going to continue. In fact, it's probably going to escalate into a largely asymmetric situation where Ukraine sees opportunity in pinning Russia's conventional forces, or really, let's face it, their conscript forces in the battlefield in Ukraine, but then launching drones into Russian spaces to strike military and logistics targets, including ports. And this is across the entire battlefield. This is across the entirety of Russia. And I don't think Russia was fully prepared for Ukraine to take that step. The lack of Western aid is what's driving them to do so. And I frankly do not blame them. In fact, I encourage it.